Not where I had to be in a snow cave or anything like that. We plan ahead with a lot of contingencies and stuff. I've had to stay in places for for quite some time, but never had to dig a snow cave. And now I've had to hunker down and wait for flights to get in, and they would get in. So when it was super cold, and just be glad that I was prepared. But and I've had to stay in cabins for a couple of days longer um, than I had hoped, but always prepared. Survival situations like that happen, um, but mostly um, they happen when you don't, plan your contingencies quite good enough. I always made sure that when I became chief, that our deputies always had, a tent and some kind of uh, super cold weather gear when they would go out into bush Alaska, just in case for I always plan for the worst, whether and the worst would be the worst that you would survive would be the plane sitting down, somewhere in the middle of nowhere and you have to stay there. But we would have, the planes had an ELT, an emergency locator transmitter, and then even we had individual ones so that if something happened to the plane, the individual would have one as well, so we'd know where they were. But that being said, I know a couple of pilots. In fact, if you read the characters in Arliss Cutter, they're certainly not based on any one pilot, but inspired by incredible pilots like Trooper Pilot Earl Samuelson, who saved countless people um, working for the troopers, people that were put in exactly those kind of situations where they had to bivouac overnight or 2 nights or out on ice floes or big. I know Earl is famous for landing on a big sheet of floating ice in the middle of the Kuskokwim River. Landing an airplane on a moving piece of ice in a free-flowing river to save a guy that was hypothermic. So lots of inspiring stories here. Fortunately, I haven't had to dig in overnight in a snow cave or anything yet. Anyway,
Fair.
practiced a lot just in case.